Hi, welcome to Cooking in Merrimack Valley. I'm Michael Coppola, one of your hosts today, and Jan is with us, and we have with us Christopher Avtges, who is going to cook some chicken.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we got a couple things in store for you today. We're going to start with a grilled chicken with a savory Greek sauce on that, and we're going to finish with a quinoa salad using a whole bunch of fresh vegetables and a nice balsamic vinaigrette. Great time of year for both of these recipes. You use a lot of fresh herbs, a lot of fresh vegetables. Farmer markets are starting to come around, so this stuff will become a lot more available and easier to find at a local source at your local market. So we can jump right into it and get started on the chicken.
Sounds good.
So the first thing we're going to do is get our marinade for the chicken ready, and that consists of zero fat Greek yogurt, and then some fresh basil, mint, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, and some lemon juice. Very simple marinade, just using some really fresh ingredients. So first we will start with our yogurt. So we'll add that into there, and this is just a Greek-style yogurt, so it's got a little thicker consistency than the regular yogurt.
And you buy it in a grocery store or a special place?
Just at the grocery store. Your favorite brand will work. It's just got a nice tang to it and a nice rich creaminess to it that really adds to the sauce on this. So then we'll add some fresh basil to that. And this is definitely something that benefits from being made a day ahead of time, so all your flavors can come together.
Blend together.
Yeah.
And you like to cook low fat, don't you?
I have really worked on reducing the fat in my food. My prior cooking style before losing my weight, I lost about 140 pounds, was a fat is flavor kind of chef. So I wanted to kind of get away from that. And this dish kind of derived from, my chicken dishes in the past would be sauteed with cream and butter and that sorts. So we're just looking for a way to replace that creaminess without all the calories. So we'll add a little onion powder and garlic powder to that.
What were the other ones you added? The basil and then you...
I'm sorry, it was basil, mint, and oregano. Okay. So some very traditional...
Yes, it really smells very good.
Some very traditional Greek seasonings, oregano and mint. You see that in a lot of Greek recipes. And it definitely adds a nice layer of flavor to this.
And easy herbs to grow at home too, right in your kitchen.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got basil and rosemary and mint.
Absolutely, and you can just pick them fresh from the plant when you're ready to use them, and they'll add some great flavor. We're going to add a little lemon juice to this, just to give a little more zing to it, and we'll mix that in. And we'll finish it with just a little olive oil. If you wouldn't mind just...
Drizzle it in?
Drizzle a little bit in there for me. And what this will do is perfect. We're going to use half of this for the marinade for our chicken.
Okay.
And the other half is going to be for our finishing sauce. So the oil will help when you're grilling it. It'll help release it from the grill or the grill pan. So it just helps a little bit for that. So that's really the marinade. So we'll put that aside.
It looks and smells fabulous.
Well, thank you.
Is that a cast iron pan we have smoking over there?
Yeah, we have a cast iron grill pan.
Cast iron.
So if you don't have the grill outside, or if you want to do this in the winter, having a grill pan on your stove will definitely help out in getting that nice grilled flavor to it. So what we're going to work with is on our chicken. We're just going to start with a boneless chicken breast, and you could do this. Two packages, two breasts can really kind of give you 2 to 3 portions, because what we're going to do is we're going to pound this chicken out a little bit. Nice. And the reason we want to do that is to really help in creating a much more even cooking surface. It'll help tenderize it, but also you won't have this thin part that gets overcooked and this thick part that will be underdone. So we'll just, if you couldn't mind handing me the mallet over there.
Go for it, Jan.
And you want to give it a few whacks, we'll just get a little, put some plastic over that.
We've got some.
Sorry about that.
You've hidden the plastic.
We've hidden the plastic.
Hidden the plastic. Well, we've got some wax paper. No, we don't. We don't have
How
any
about we
wax
improvise
paper.
and use a glove?
There we go.
That works.
So
Don't
we'll
try
just
this at home.
Yes. Ideally, you could put this into a Ziploc bag and pound it out. But what we're going to want to do is just kind of pound that out a little bit so we get a nice even thickness all the way through.
Oh, you really have to pound it, though.
Yeah, you want to really break it up a bit and use that pointed side to help tenderize it and break it down.
More the other side?
No, that side's fine.
This takes a little bit, but...
And it takes out your frustration at the end of the day.
Exactly, as long as I don't get my finger in there.
Nagging. That's also a great way to get your kids involved. My son loves just pounding on it.
These are the good tasks for the kids.
Exactly, exactly.
And how thin do you like it to be?
You're probably right about there. Let's take a quick peek. Perfect. So we've got it. Yeah, that'll work just great. So we've got that pounded out. So then what we're going to do to portion it is we're just going to kind of slice it into half so you can really get 2 good size pieces out of it that you can use for your serving. Okay. So like I've got a little bit done over here ahead of time too. So we can, this is just out of 2 breasts. You can really definitely feed your whole family with what you have here. So we'll take a little bit of this marinade and I have some put aside. So we're going to just put the chicken in here. And we're going to let this sit overnight. And
is that what you normally do, overnight?
Anywhere from 2 hours to overnight works well. You have the acid from the lemon in there. That'll help tenderize the chicken a bit. Plus, the yogurt will really penetrate it with the herbs and give it a nice tangy flavor to it. So we'll let that marinade. Get the chicken board out of the way. And after we've marinated that overnight, so we have our finished product and we have our grill ready to go. So what we're going to do is just, because it's nice and thin, we won't have a long cooking time. It'll really help shorten up your cooking time and have something ready quick to go. So we'll just get our grill pan nice and hot, which it is.
It looks.
And we're just going to put these on here, get a nice sear off of it, and we're just going to let these sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll flip them about halfway through to get the other side done.
Now, do you have a place you like to buy your chicken? Or a type of chicken or a brand?
The chicken, I usually try to source it from a local farm. I usually get the whole chickens and break them down myself.
Okay.
It's a lot, for $5 you can get a whole chicken and really get 8 good pieces out of it to serve your whole family with and save yourself some money that way. If you do get it from the grocery stores, you want to look for something that doesn't have any dried out edges or has any discoloration to it. It's important to look at the expiration date on there. They put them there for a reason, so you can make sure that they're nice and fresh for you.
You mentioned locally sourcing them. Why don't you tell our audience what you're doing now at the farmers markets, because it's farmers market season. People are out there buying vegetables. And
As the season's starting to come around, so I will start to tour around to local farmers markets and do demonstrations based upon what the vendors have that day. Most recently I've been at the Chelmsford Farmers Market. Through the winter I do the indoor farmers market at the Agway there. And we usually do a theme based upon what's available. And when it's open to the guests, they walk away with the recipe packet with what to shop for. And it's great, the vendors love it because it gives them a chance to showcase their products and also definitely helps them move some of their products at the market. So we've had some really good success. I am picking up some more markets in the Hartford area that I'll be going to this summer and trying to work my way up north a little more because it's something that I enjoy doing. It's something that when I started to really reteach myself how to cook after my weight loss, I just really got into purchasing the local fresh items. Just tastes so much better, and you don't need to add a lot to it to bring the flavor out.
Because it's already there.
Exactly.
And it's great having someone to tell us, because I've gone to the farmer's market and you buy your tomatoes and your onions and like, well, what is this? And what is the fennel? And how can I use these? So it exposes us to more foods that we're going to know how to cook.
A great example of that was we were doing one demonstration where I used the greens off the carrot top as a salad to finish the dish. And the farmer came up to me afterwards and he was like, I've never sold out of carrots before, and people were asking specifically for the ones with the greens. So it's just making sure nothing goes to waste and really getting all the flavor out of it. So we've been going a couple minutes here. So we'll just check that. As you can see with the oil on there, it's kind of releasing nice and easily.
It doesn't stick, which is good.
So we'll let that go a little bit. But while that's continuing to go, we can start working on our other dish, which is really a nice side dish that goes with this. This is a great summer salad that I put together when my wife and I were losing our weight. Because you go to the cookouts and there's always the potato salad and the pasta
right.
salad.
There is.
When you're watching your weight, that's not the stuff you want to eat.
No.
So what I put together is we're going to do a little quinoa salad that uses a lot of fresh vegetables. In this recipe, there's a lot of room to put in different items that you'd like. I like doing it with tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, and peppers. I think it's some great flavors. And we'll finish it with some parsley and make a Dijon vinaigrette.
Oh, nice.
With that. So the first thing we'll start with is the quinoa. So what quinoa is a seed, really. And I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's got that nice hard crunchiness to it.
I am. I
And
like it.
it's a great source of protein, but it's really tough to eat at this part.
Yeah.
So what you're going to need to do is when you cook it, you want to cook it just like rice. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, twice as much water to the grain. And you'll want to cook it to a point to where it starts to sprout a little bit in the pan. You'll see the little sprout come out. And once you get to that point, I like to chill it down. So we have 2 kinds of quinoa in here. We have a white quinoa and a red quinoa. There's actually 3 types. There's also a black quinoa. Really the difference between them, the white has a very mild flavor, really takes on whatever you mix with it. The red and the black have a little more earthier flavor to it. So that's why I like to mix them together, just to kind of give a little more deepness to the flavor. So we have, this is 2 cups of raw quinoa. Like rice, it doubles in volume. So we've got that cooked and cooled down.
And do you add anything else to it other than water?
Just water and salt.
Okay.
The salt, anytime you're boiling anything in water, always add some salt. It's a great chance to add flavor, pasta, rice, anything like that. It'll really start to bring the flavor out.
Great. And is this in the rice section of the supermarket? Because most people have seen this. That's what I've seen. Haven't seen this, so where do they find it in the market?
Right in the rice the rice section. Usually you'll find it with your varietal rices like your black rice, your wild rice, and that sort. It'll all be in that section. Price-wise, it's pretty comparable to the rices. It's a little more, but a little bit goes a long way. I mean, this is 2 cups of raw product.
No.
Yeah, started as that, and through the magic
of
cooking,
TV.
exactly, it expanded out to that. But you can use this as a stuffing. It's my son who eats gluten-free because he has celiacs. We actually will take the dry quinoa and grind it down and use it for breading for chicken tenders.
That's a
chicken
great
parm
idea.
or something like that. So it's a nice gluten-free coating also.
And a lot of people are just doing the celiac menus because it's a healthy eating.
Yeah,
even if they don't have the disease.
There's definitely some benefits to eating gluten-free, absolutely. I also have a recipe up on my website, chefchrisA.com, where I use quinoa for a morning energy bar that I'll make and I'll have to start my day with before I go to the gym. And it's a great way to get some protein into your diet. So we've got our quinoa cooked. So basically what we're going to add to that next is our variety of vegetables. Let's see how our chicken is, a little more on there. So the vegetables that we're going to add, I've got some red peppers, which are nice and evenly diced. And we want to do that just so it has a nice even bite to it. And a quick, easy way to get that nice of a cut is when you're working with your pepper, most people will just cut it in half and scoop the seeds out. If you just cut down the 4 sides of it, it'll give you a nice flat surface to work with.
Yeah, because the pepper's tough. It rolls around.
Yeah, and then it just makes it hard to cut.
Right.
And it gives you a chance to take out some of this white in here, which can kind of give it a little metallic taste to it if you leave it in there too long, if you leave it in there. So once you have your pepper, and then we're just cutting it in strips this way, again with the flat surface, makes it easier to cut. And then we'll turn it that way and just get our nice evenly sized dice. This will help, keeping it just for a bite, or if you're cooking, this will help give you a consistent cooking time in your recipe. So we've got our peppers cut, so we're going to add those to the quinoa. If you wouldn't mind putting the rest of those
All
in there.
of these?
Put in about half of them. Perfect. Our chicken is pretty much ready to go.
And it smells delicious. It really does.
Thank you very much.
It does.
We're going to put that to the side for just a moment, because what we want to let that do is rest just a bit.
looking for?
Is there another plate down there?
I've got a plate right here for you.
Oh, thank you. So we're going to leave that on the plate to rest for a bit.
Okay.
And the reason we want to do that is we want the juices in the chicken to kind of redistribute through it. If we just took it and cut it right now, all that flavor is going to come running out. Anytime you're cooking a protein, you just want to let it rest for about 5 minutes, or about the time it takes to put a quinoa salad together.
Perfect.
Perfect. So we'll have our...
I'll take that.
That's good. So next thing we're going to want to add to this is our tomatoes. If you want to dump about half of those in there. If you wouldn't mind handing me that spatula.
This one?
Yep, that would be fantastic. And our red onion. We'll add that in there. That's half a red onion. And cucumbers.
I like cucumbers. We're going to put them all in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we can
fresh
add more.
for summer.
I like to use the English cucumber for this application. It's a little meatier. It doesn't have as much seeds as the American cucumber that we're used to. So it gives a little more depth, a little more bite to it. And then we're going to add some fresh parsley into that. Very similar recipe to a tabbouleh, but we're just switching out the grain. So we'll kind of give that a toss. And this will be the base for our chicken dish. You could serve this as your side. Also, what you could do at this point too, if you'd like, if you have your chicken and you want to do some sort of stuffing, you could roll that inside. Okay. I've also used this for wraps. For lunch, I'll just put this right in the tortilla wrap and have that for my lunch. It's a nice, fresh, healthy lunch. And we'll put the dressing together for that really quick.
And the quinoa is really filling.
Yes, the quinoa is definitely really filling. It will, that and a nice bottle of water behind it will keep you going for a while.
I thought he was going to say wine.
Well, wine too.
Well, with lunchtime.
At lunchtime. Unless you're doing the power lunch, then it's a martini or two.
Yeah.
So we're going to start the dressing. So if you wouldn't mind helping out with that, I have some balsamic vinegar in there. Okay. So we're going to start with that. And then some Dijon mustard, and that's going to be the binder to our vinaigrette. That's going to help hold the
whisk or a spoon to scoop
this
this out?
Yeah, the little whisk. That'll be perfect because he'll need to use that. We're going to put him to work.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Michael, you're on.
All right.
That'll help as our binding agent for the dressing. And then we're going to add a little lemon juice to that. And a little bit of the
Sounds like I'm working in a trash can.
So once you get to this point, what you're going to want to do is drizzle in your olive oil. I'd like to use the extra virgin olive oil for an application like this, where if I'm cooking, I'll just use a regular olive oil, because we don't want the heat to cook off that flavor that we're going to get.
Put it right
there. There we go.
And then Jan can take over with the whisking from this side.
All right.
So they can see what's going on.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to do this to add in the...
Yep, we're just going to make a nice emulsification of the oil and vinegar.
And you just do it, eye it visually?
Yeah, I do it till till it starts to kind of come together a little bit. It's not going to get too thick, but we want it to definitely kind of bind together a little bit. Come on, I got to go a little faster.
Okay. I'm slow.
And we basically want to essentially double the volume of what we're doing with the vinegar base. Now, if you're not a fan of balsamic, you could also use a red wine vinegar or a cider vinegar to that too, really depending on your preference on that. So we've got our dressing tossed and ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our dressing and I'm going to pour it in while you fold, if you don't mind. Okay. And we're just going to put in a little bit at a time. We just want to get a nice coating on there. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want it to be sitting in the dressing. This, it's got a nice pungency to it that it's really going to just add. We want it to add to the flavor of the vegetables into the quinoa. So let's give that a quick taste and see where we are. If we need to add a little seasoning to that. Thank you. A little more.
Okay.
Back to work.
Back to work.
Come on, Michael.
You get some nice, the parsley adds some nice freshness to it.
Yes.
There we go.
Now, there was no salt added to this, was there?
No, I didn't add a lot of salt to it. I didn't add any salt to it, actually. I think with the fresh herbs in there and all the fresh vegetables, a little salt can help bring it out a little bit, but I just like to kind of let them shine. I think the vinegar does enough and the lemon juice does enough to really brighten up the flavors in there. So you want to be careful, especially if you're watching your sodium. It's, by adding the fresh herbs and the fresh vegetables, it can really help you in keeping the sodium down. So we got our chicken done, we've got our quinoa done. We've got our extra sauce ready to go to plate this dish up. So we're going to just put this together really quick. And
do you want another plate?
yeah, I thought I had
right
it there. There we go.
Now, this is a separate sauce you made, right? It's not going to be the marinade you took the chicken out of.
This is right. I separated the sauce out,
Okay.
so half goes to the marinade, half goes to the finished sauce. Made this the day before just so the flavors can
Just
really
so they
come
do that.
together.
Don't use your marinade as a
Yes.
sauce.
Very
Yes,
good point.
exactly.
We don't need to get anybody sick.
Very sick with that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just start with a nice bed of the quinoa on here for our salad.
I hope it shows up as beautiful on TV
The
as
colors
it does
are
here.
great.
They
Yeah.
really are.
It definitely adds some nice pop to it. And then what we're going to do for the chicken is we're just going to kind of slice this across the grill marks just so we can get a nice presentation out of it. And it's pretty tender because we did pound it out a little bit. So a sharp knife will definitely help in keeping this together as you're cutting it. And then we're going to just kind of fan this out over the salad.
Oh, it looks so good. Can you tell us a little bit about your time on Chopped for the Food Network?
It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Chris was a chef,
Yeah,
contestant.
They had a formerly overweight chef special, so it was right around the time that I lost my weight, about 140 pounds, and was able to compete on the show.
That's impressive.
And you know, it was a great experience. I still talk with the other chefs that I competed with against. We
nice.
just formed some great bonds from there. It was an absolutely amazing experience. So we've got our chicken and quinoa on there. We're going to finish that up with a little bit of our sauce. And we're just going to kind of put that along the base here, just so you can kind of pick it up when you have the chicken. And then we'll finish that with a little more of the fresh oregano on top, just for some color and flavor. And we are ready for you to try.
Here's a fork.
We're ready to try.
Here's a napkin, too. I'm going to scrunch that up. But
I'm going to dive right in.
But this is, this is a dish that we've really come to love as far as summer barbecues and stuff like that. It's a nice.
This
nice
is so
replacement.
bright tasting.
Yeah.
see if I can get it all on
Very
one fork,
good.
which I'm not really good at. This is
Nice change of just chicken.
Yeah, you know, you get that nice tang from the yogurt marinade on that chicken too. It definitely
you really do.
Yeah, it definitely gives a nice flavor to the chicken, especially with a chicken breast. You know, it really pulls in whatever flavors you marinate, the fresh herbs on there, and it just kind of all ties together as a nice, a nice light dish on a hot summer day with your nice glass of wine.
With a
Oh,
glass.
yeah, with a glass of wine. With white, I would assume, if it's chicken.
I would go with a white on that, or a lighter red if you want. I'd probably go with. I'd stay away from something that's too oaky. I think that would be a little too much for it. But a nice Pinot Grigio would probably work very well with that. Something that has some nice citrus flavors to it.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about what else you're doing with your cooking? And
Yeah, I also work at a school district in Connecticut where we do a lot of after-school programs. Go right ahead.
You talk, please.
We do a lot of after-school programs with 4th and 5th graders, doing some hands-on cooking, showing them how to prepare foods. I'll do knife skills with them. We do it as a family, so it'll be one student and their parent or guardian.
Nice.
And it's all hands-on. The kids are handling the knives, and we're learning how to do certain cuts. The last one I did, we were doing Swiss chard with caramelized onions, and I had the kids cutting it up, and they absolutely loved it. A lot of that is because they're involved in the process.
yes, I agree.
That's the big thing.
I agree. And teaching them to cook healthy food.
Exactly, and that there's we're, in the days that we're in, everybody is so busy and working on getting things going through the day that we do rely on the convenience too much. And I was definitely a victim of that with my weight. But now we've got to a point where it's just a little planning and prepping ahead, can allow you to do some healthy cooking.
This is excellent.
And to get you, to find recipes that you can get your kids involved in. We do a stir fry with sweet potato noodles that the kids are cutting on a spiral cutter, and they absolutely love it. I had one. We did a cauliflower couscous, where the kids were putting the cauliflower in the food processor and grinding it up, and they absolutely loved it. And again, just getting back to them being involved and being in touch with their food and understanding where it comes from. We also work a lot with the local farms in the area. We're doing a dinner tomorrow night for one of our after-school programs where about 90% of the ingredients were all sourced from local farms.
That's
greens,
great.
potatoes, and stuff like that.
That's way,
so it's
If
fun.
people go to your website, will they be able to tell which farmers market you're going to be at?
Yeah, and tell us your website too.
Yeah, my website is chefchrisa.com. You can also follow me on Facebook at Chef Chris Avtges. And when I do get my schedule, I will post it up on the page. I also do demonstrations at Williams-Sonoma, so I'll pop around there every once in a while. So we'll put the schedule up there as I start to do some more appearances.
This has been wonderful, Chris.
Oh,
this
thank
is
you very
excellent.
much.
Our recipe will be going up. Our recipe. Chris's recipe
Good
will
job.
be
Well done.
going up, and the recipes will be going up, and you can see that. And thank you for joining us.
Yes,
thank you,
thank you.
Michael.
Appreciate it.
And farewell from cooking in the Merrimack Valley.